Caruso runs a break. Caldwell Pope goes to the wing here. James! Oh!
Trying to play at the defensive end. Got blown by back.
Oh, yes!
Hook jam!
Harden, step back. Puts up the three. Got hit. Shot's good! And one!
Back this time here, Steph.
Oh, Russell Westbrook!
Speaking of the future, Luka Doncic coming into the season, he's been pegged as, top MVP candidate. Betting odds had him as like the number one favorite to be MVP candidate. You have him as MVP candidate. You praised him even before last year, before his season, coming off his rookie season. You say he's going to be a top guy in the league, which he still is. But his MVP candidacy doesn't seem to be doing too well. The Mavs are at the bottom of the West right now, as we see. But lately, I will say Kristaps Porzingis has come back. He's starting to play a little bit more consistently now. They are on a 3-game winning streak. They won a big game against the Warriors last Saturday after getting blown out by them the Wednesday before. They beat the Timberwolves on Monday. They also beat the Hawks on Wednesday, which was a close game where they came back by 13 points in the fourth quarter too. And now, they, like I said, they're on a big 3-game winning streak. Tim Hardaway has stepped up for them coming off the bench. But Luka himself, even with his numbers, not as best as it was last year, but still having great numbers. His shooting percentages are down. He himself even knows that he's not an MVP candidate. So as it stands right now, in the first half of the season, given that, there's going to be a second half of the season coming soon, and like I said, they're on this win streak now, do you see Luka Doncic still being an MVP candidate somewhat this season, given that, let's say, they make a complete run in the second half of the season, because they also had one of the hardest schedules at the beginning of the season. Given that they go on a complete dominated run in the second half of the season, is Luka Doncic still an MVP candidate to you?
I think if they are able to make a push here at the end of the year, I think it would be really tough because you got guys like LeBron and Joel Embiid who are playing phenomenally, and they're already, on the top teams in their respective conferences. So for him to be able to come back from behind would be very difficult, especially considering the fact that both of those guys, co-stars, aren't playing their best basketball. Like AD's had pretty much an offseason. Like him and Julius Randle, monstered him, I guess. He took all of his skill and his talent. If you look at the stat
AD
lines,
is in the Space Jam movie.
Exactly. So I guess he took his role a little bit too serious. He's out here method acting in the middle of the season. I don't know what he's doing. And Ben Simmons has been pretty much a no-show this season, to say the least. The Chris Brown
of the league.
Chris Brown of the NBA, as you like to say. So I think it would be really difficult.
I'm the only one
to do that. You ain't the only one. I could see that. It's got a ring to it. It's catchy. But I think that Luka's got a chance if he can come back. Because it's not really, outside of those two, there's not really anybody who comes to mind. Like, the Nuggets aren't good enough for him to be there. Nuggets aren't good enough as a team.
They're still a top 5 seed in the West.
Are they top 5 now?
Yeah, they're number 4. Or they might be number 5. Because I know that the Suns is number 4. They're number 5.
No, they're not. They're 7th. No, they're 7th right now.
Oh,
they're 7th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because they haven't had that great of a season. So I don't think they were that high. So he's not high enough.
Okay.
Giannis is not. They're not going to pick Giannis again. Like, I'm sorry, unless he just has an amazing season, he's not going to get picked. I don't think any of the Brooklyn Nets guys are going to get picked. There's just too much star power there.
Even Kevin Durant, he's having a good year.
I don't think so. Just
Steph
because
Curry?
you see, now Steph has a chance. I don't think he'll be able to do it.
Now, timeout. How you gonna put Steph Curry in there, but you can't put Jokic?
Because he's got narrative, though. Because he's got narrative. Narrative plays a part in this. Jokic.
But where does the Warriors put? Where does the Warriors play? We'll talk about that later. But keep going. We'll talk about that later.
Right.
Go ahead.
But long story short, I'm saying Luka will have a chance. I just find it very difficult without him having a good record. Like they have to be a top 4 seed, and his numbers would have to be ridiculous. Like he'd have to average a triple-double for sure. And they'd have to get at least up to like top 4 seed. So it's possible. I wouldn't put my money on it. At this point, my money's either on LeBron or Joel Embiid, but we'll see.
Now, I will give them a little slack because they, the team was dealing with a lot of like COVID issues in the beginning of the season, having multiple players out at a time, injuries. Like I said, Kristaps Porzingis coming back recently. Maxi Kleber coming back. We know and Dwight Powell. I think he's back too. He got hurt last season with his ACL injury. Tim Hardaway Jr. He even opted himself to come off the bench. They recently, they traded Josh Richardson, for Steph Curry, who they had last season, who's doing very well in Philadelphia right now. I saw a stat where he's like 50-50, 100 club. He has his own club going on right now. Not 50-40, 90,
yeah.
but 50-50, 100 from the field. He's doing nice in Philly right now. He's killing it. They
definitely should have kept him in Dallas. Definitely should have kept him.
But I see why they did it for Josh Richardson, who's like a better defender, and they want to get better on that end. Because we know they was the top offensive team last year, one of the best offenses in the entire league history. But, with them not being in sync and not having that chemistry, it's kind of went down. But like I said, they're on a 3-game winning streak now. So I hope with them all playing together, they can at least get some type of run. Obviously, I don't think they'll get in the top 5 seed, not this late into the season, but at least make a playoff push. And
we're still at the halfway point. It's possible. They're at the halfway point right now. So there's been bigger turnarounds before. Because we got 72 games. They've only played 26. I know some of them were postponed because of COVID. So I don't know how many of the games that they had possible that they missed, but they still got at least half a season. And they're not a ridiculously far off amount. Like, it's not like they're the Timberwolves 6-19. They're 2 games under 500. They're with a couple of slides from some of the people in front of them, they can do it. I just went and put my money on him being able to win MVP. I'll still say the Mavs are going to be top 5 seed. I think I had them as a 3 seed when I was talking about rankings earlier. So I could see them getting back up to there, honestly.